This is a special edition of Late Night Help. I'm Mark Alyn. We've talked to J.D. Madicus several times. He is a medical whiz. He's a writer, a filmmaker. Did you direct the film?
No, I couldn't do everything. I was the producer, but I left the directing to someone a little bit more qualified than me.
Got it. And we'll find out more about that. And the name of the book, it's a series actually, and yes. The book is Final Diagnosis: No Second Chances. And what's the premise of the book?
The premise of the book is it's a spy medical thriller. It's basically my love of medicine mixed with my love of, say, James Bond or any of those spy thrillers, Jason Bourne, and combined together to actually solve medical cases where with the whole coronavirus coming along, one of my specialties, my interest is something called infectious disease or microbiology. And it just there's so many infectious disease out there that they're very dangerous, and so these are the things that I incorporate into this medical spy thriller.
How did you get interested in medicine to begin with? Did you always want to be a doctor?
Yeah, so long story short, I always wanted to be a doctor. I did an anatomy class and got to chapter 9, which was childbirth, and I failed that chapter because it was maybe I was too young or immature, but it was quite traumatizing seeing like the actual birth canal and the baby coming out and all that stuff. But now
wait a second, you're a dad, you saw that your own kids come out?
I did, but that was later. So I actually changed fields, went into business, did business, sold pharmaceutical drugs for a good enough time before the dark side took over, let's just say. And then I went to study medicine at a medical university, and from there I overcame my fear of blood and the whole childbirthing thing, and became a father, and actually watched the child come out. It was funny. And it was kind of weird how you evolve as a person. And
did you cut the cord?
Yeah, I didn't. But my first child came out. I was going to tell you the story. My first child came out, and the nurse was like, "Would you like the honors of cutting the umbilical cord?" And I'm like, "Yeah, done it before. Go for it." And she's like, "But it's your child." I'm like, and the doctor just looked at me and was like, "It's fine." He cuts it, right? So the second child, I have a son now, so that was my daughter. The second child, my son, as I'm taking my wife to the delivery room, "You will cut the umbilical cord." I'm like, okay. There.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am. I mean, it didn't have an emotional meaning for me whether I cut it or didn't cut it. No, I mean, I dissected dead bodies.
So I have to tell you that in college, well, actually back in high school, I was in an advanced biology class.
Okay.
And this is when I realized I would not become a doctor because I couldn't tell a pancreas from a kidney.
Yeah, well, you could be a doctor, maybe not a surgeon, because that's more.
Yeah, so that's when I gave that part up. Right now with COVID,
yes,
it does tie in with the movie Final Diagnosis, doesn't it?
It does actually. So I shot the first 3 chapters as a full featured film with original music and original animation, even and animation opening sequence. So it's going to be amazing. And what happened was that I always knew that in infectious disease, if in say a theoretical terrorist or a person who does not mean well for the world hands, this can be something that can truly devastate the world. Thank God we have a lot of say safety nets, safety organizations like the CDC and the WHO, the World Health Organization, even if certain presidents don't agree, but
Right.
they do exist to protect the world from such situations. But
Right. They just need to
as
be a little bit more open-minded, I think. Uh, the fact is that you started this book prior to the pandemic. Did
yeah.
you add psychic intuitive to your list of accomplishments?
I don't want to get arrested by the FBI, but I always put myself in the character's perspective. So if I was a bad person, no, I'm not. No, okay, thank God I'm not. And I wanted to wreak havoc with the world. What would I do? What virus, what bacteria, parasite, or even fungus would I use to say destroy the world? And so I go in that direction as the villain. Of course, I'm also the hero in solving this and preventing these situations from happening. So I think this is no different than what a lot of the agencies do. They have to imagine themselves as a criminal, a villain, in order to stop them. Otherwise, how would you stop something you don't know?
You're right.
You know?
In writing the book and then producing the film, and I'm assuming that you had, as you were writing the story line, that you knew you were going to turn it into a film. That's a
That was by
whole new,
accident.
huh?
That was by accident.
Oh,
But
okay.
go on, go on.
My, it's a whole new mindset. I mean, now you've got to hire a director, you've got to hire actors, you're hiring editors, all of that, the grip and all that. I believe you shot the film in Poland, didn't you?
I shot actually parts of it in Poland and parts of it in LA. And what happened was that it was supposed to be a glorified, say, book publicity stunt, right? Where we
Right.
shot one scene. It was supposed to be one scene. One scene,
One
one location.
scene.
It was supposed to be one scene, one location. I hired the director, hired the actor, and we got the team together. And within the course of 2 months of actually 3 months of preparing to shoot this, the script evolved. We added another scene and then another scene and another location, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and kind of blew out of proportion. And then when it was all finished in Poland, we decided, well, let's shoot some final scenes in Los Angeles, and it became a full feature. Just
Wow.
went in
It's
that direction.
also, do you know that producing a movie is like owning a boat? Did you know that?
It's sorry, it's a lot like
Producing a film is like owning a boat.
a boat.
A boat.
Yes.
They're both big black holes that you dump money in.
Yeah, it's a money pit.
It's a
It's a
money
money
pit.
pit.
Exactly. We're talking to our friend JT Madicus. We've talked before. JT is, I think he's a Renaissance man, and
You're too kind.
he's right. He does so many different things. Um, you didn't graduate from medical school.
No. I started medical school. Long story short, I actually got sick. I actually had an undiagnosed illness for years, but I kept on going back to medical school to finish up, but also kind of diagnose myself. And it was kind of weird. The moment I finally diagnosed myself, got healthy, got cured, I found the woman of my life, the woman of my dreams, and got married, had kids like right away, and it's always been my dream to have kids and be in a happily married family. And so I said, you know what, medicine can wait. I need to focus on the family. I have two kids under 5, and I promised them
Wow.
that when they turn 5, then I will pursue the degree again. But
You go
yeah,
back to medical school.
yeah, I'll go back. I mean, I keep it fresh. I do medical Buzzfeed, which is a medical news channel. I also have another channel, Future Doc House, a little nod to House MD, the series. where I basically break down medical lectures into simple 5-minute to 10-minute segments and say, look, I studied medicine. I was there. This is what's going to be on the tests. I've been there. They will ask you this question because I took all those exams and I didn't want it to go to waste. So now
right. How long do you have to go to finish your degree?
Oh, I got to start all over. Once you pass the 3-year mark of not being in school, they make you start all over. But there is a caveat because there's some universities that allow you something called a challenge test. So they would just basically say, all right, five professors, doctor professors, here's a whiteboard. We're going to ask you 5 questions. If you can answer these 5 questions like a professor, right? And which is what I'm doing. I'm teaching medicine on YouTube. We might just let you not have to take that course again.
Got it.
So there's some possible loophole that I can get through and get by. So that's why I keep teaching medicine on YouTube, to keep it fresh, keep it sharp, so that maybe, God willing, when I do go back to medical school, I just take the challenge test and shorten my career a little bit.
And you're teaching medicine to people like me, not people, or you.
Yeah. So
for consumers to understand medical terminology and disease states.
Yeah, correct. So for Future Doc House, I have 2 kind of segments. One is a lecture series, and one is explained by a medical student, right? So a lot of medical students, and I was a medical student, get asked a lot of questions, especially with current events, right? Hey, this coronavirus, break it down for me simply. So I do that segment as well. But then medical Buzzfeed is more for the consumer, for the general public. It's very, very simple, very, very broken down. And easily, but digestible, I guess, in a sense. More layman's term.
I think we've talked about this before. We're talking here about traditional medicine, but with your ancestry, your history, okay?
Yeah.
Natural medicine got its start in Asia, in China.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have these old books behind me, and there's one on something called traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, and there's another one. It's an Indian traditional medicine. It's Ayurvedic medicine. So I actually have these books, of course, translated from older books into English, and it is very fascinating. I mean, you learn a lot about herbs and lavender and even citrus plants. And like the leaves, the stem, the roots, each has a certain purpose or a certain property that can treat certain illnesses or diseases. And so I am very fascinated with these types of medicine as well. It's always a bit of a caveat because with traditional medicine and say modern medicine, there's always this clash of potency and efficacy and and safety.
Well, I think there should be. I think we should have an integrative approach.
I agree. For example, there is. For example, without getting into trouble, there is a certain plant, right? And it's illegal. But this plant is actually non-addictive. It's in the same family as the opiate family, okay? But it's non-addictive, and it's a great sedative. It's a great non-addictive sedative.
It's not a CBD?
It's a part of the opiate family. It's a plant from the opiate family.
Which is, the opiates are from poppies.
Correct. So it's a poppy plant, right? But this plant is a non-addictive sedative. Why wouldn't you use this instead of what those benzos and all those other things that are addictive and can cause a lot of side effects? Why wouldn't you use that? So that's my take on some things.
Well, it's like a person is dying from cancer 20 years ago.
Okay.
And everybody knew then that if they were to smoke marijuana, it would relieve the pain and the nausea.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't allow it. They do now. I mean, but still, marijuana is classified as a drug and not as a supplement. And I don't get it,
It's money. It's politics. It's money. It's corporate industries. I mean, I used to work for corporate America. I can give you a lot of inside knowledge about that. So it's tough. At the end of the day, if you are part of corporate America, getting a paycheck from corporate America, you're going to be no marijuana. We have something better, more expensive, bigger side effects, might even kill you.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cure your allergies, but your kidneys may fall out. We're speaking with JT Madicus here on Late Night Health. JT, you with your video production with
Okay.
medical Buzzfeed, and I guess you've had issues with YouTube and Facebook. Can you
Yeah.
explain that to me?
Yeah, the YouTube, they shut me down. And Facebook doesn't they did not allow me to run ads for months. I had to challenge them. I had to keep on saying, "Hey, look, I'm not promoting fake news. It's medical BuzzFeed. Yes, the BuzzFeed maybe gives it a sense of it wasn't meant to be not taken seriously. It was meant to be taken lightheartedly. So medical BuzzFeed is more of a channel where you get your medical news with a touch of humor. Okay, so we have something. We have three segments. We have obviously the updates, on what's going on in the world with the say medical situation, whether it's coronavirus or Ebola or dengue fever, chikungunya. I can go on. I love infectious disease. And then we have a middle segment called viral news. So we make light of some situations where, say, a patient, 57-year-old patient comes into the hospital overdosing on caffeine, and so we talk about these silly segments that do occur, that do happen, that medical doctors see. And then we have the end segment, which is my inspirational segment, the last word. And the last word is usually something uplifting. We shouldn't fear the coronavirus, but we should be careful and prepare ourselves to not get infected by the coronavirus. Things like that, to inspire the world. Hopefully, that's the traditional thing. Now, with the YouTube, there was one episode that they found apparently not to their liking. It was promoting a medicine that was much more cost effective to treating coronavirus. It was dexamethasone. Dexamethasone is a prednisone. Basically, when you have coronavirus, if you are unlucky to have the cytokine storm, you take this medicine to calm that cytokine storm, allowing you to.
What is that storm? What does that
It's
mean?
basically your immune system going crazy, going nuclear. For example, you have like bullets, right? Okay, if it can't fight the infection with bullets, it will go nuclear. It will do a burn and tar everything, just cinder everything. And that's what happens. It just burns your lungs in order to burn the virus out. It's called a cytokine storm. And the cytokines are what triggers the burning of your
Right.
lungs.
And that's why
Destruction.
people who have COVID can't breathe.
Can't breathe. Then they go into intubation. And the thing is, you know how long it takes for lungs to heal. For a smoker, it takes about 3 months. Stop smoking, and then your lungs will return to normal. If you don't have that time, or if you cannot prevent the burning of the lungs, then that's when you end up in the morgue. But if you have a medicine that can stop this, prevent your body from going haywire and burning up the lungs, and buy you time to fight the infection normally with antibodies, that's what I was promoting. And YouTube removed that video. I couldn't
Well,
believe it.
people are watching this on YouTube, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Um, the prednisone is it's a steroid, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a steroid. It's autoimmune. Well, it's an immunosuppressant. It suppresses the immune system. Your immune system is what releases the cytokine storm, the cytokines which causes the inflammation, the burning, and the destruction of your tissue. So you need to stop that. Sometimes your immune system is trying to do too good of a job to kill the virus, and that's where you get into trouble. So that's
And
yeah.
the are you back up on YouTube or?
Yeah, what I did was, if YouTube is watching this, I actually released it on Future Doc House, the other channel. They took it off. They took it off Medical BuzzFeed. I'll put it on future Doghouse channel. You know, let's see what happens.
Got it. Right. Well, we have, of course, your websites up here under us. And so if you want information and you want to follow JT, you can. He's been kind enough to say that he'll do a little piece for us on growing old sucks, but it doesn't have to. So thank you very much for that. And I will, you know, it is always so much fun to talk to you.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. And I hope it's mutual. I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Hey, when I get a trailer, I just saw a sneak peek of the trailer. When I get the trailer out to you, let's do this again. How's that sound?
All right. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll play it. We can play that. Okay.
Right.
We can do that. I think I can edit that in. I am an editor after all. JT, thank you very much. JT Madicus, our guest. I'm Mark Alyn. Join us at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. We did over a half hour there.